Okay, so today we are attempting to do a takeoff, go around and landing of a MiG19P, which is a 1950s Korean War era Russian fighter. This particular aircraft is quite difficult to land because it's got so little drag. It doesn't slow down very much, so you've got to be very careful, otherwise you go off the end of the runway or you will just crash into the ground. Anyway, let's give it a go. So we are first of all going to turn on the nose wheel brakes steering system. Let's do that. We're then going to turn on the cockpit lighting. Okay, let's do that. Good. We're then going to spool up the engine to around about 10,000 RPM. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Right, so once we have got the engines spooled up, we're holding the brake. We are going to then release the brake and roll up to about 260 knots before we rotate off the ground. Just waiting for the engine to warm up. Takes a while. Okay, here we go. So we're going to use the rudder pedals to keep us on track on the course, the centre course of the runway, and wait for it to get up to about 260 knots. Okay. Okay, getting there now. We're starting to bounce a little as the front wheel hits the ground, and we're going to rotate off the ground. Okay, a few seconds, gear up. Okay, there goes the gear, flaps to normal, and then we're going to make a slow climb up to around about 1,000 feet. Okay, we're making our climb now. Okay, let's have a glory shot while we climb. Here we go. Anyway, once we get to 1,000 feet, we're going to level off. And then we're going to make a brake turn to the left, back towards the runway. Get myself centered again. Okay. Right, brake turn now. And we're going to be looking for the runway just over our heads. And it's up over there. So once we're level, we're going to pull out of the brake turn. And on this downward leg, we're going to be setting ourselves, getting our gear back down and our flaps to landing positions. Okay. As we sail past the runway, we'll be back in there in a minute. Right, okay, so now it's time to get the flaps and the gear sorted. So we're going to attempt to do that. Let's make sure everything's right. Okay. Get a reasonable distance from the airfield. So we need time to set ourselves when we're coming back, because as I said, this plane takes a lot to decelerate. Okay, gear down. We're going to go flaps to landing positions. We're going to gain some height just there as the left flaps give us a bit of lift. Then we're going to make a gentle turn to the left, hopefully losing some altitude and some speed at the same time. Alright, here we go. Just a gentle turn this time. Main aim is to get rid of some speed, and once we level off we're going to hit the speed brakes. Okay, there's a runway over there, so we're going to roll out of this turn. Gentle roll out, try and get rid of some altitude. Here we go. Still going a little fast, just under 600, just over 600 knots. I'd like to be a little bit less at this point, 500 probably is better. Anyway, put some speed brakes on. Here the speed brakes kick in there, dragging some air. Let's have a quick look, see if we can see the speed brakes. Okay. We're going to now try and guide ourselves in. We're going to be using mainly the thrust and the trim to bring us in. Try not to use the stick for altitude, using the stick mainly to keep our lateral movement on the centre line of the runway. Okay, so we're getting closer, losing altitude nicely, but we're still quite fast. So I'm going to reduce some thrust to try and get some speed off while using the trim. Let's point the nose up a little, hopefully get some more speed off. We want to be landing at about 300 miles an hour, really. Okay, going a bit fast. We're down to just over 400. We're going to hit it reasonably hard. Anyway, okay, bit of a bounce. Get the wheels down, front wheels down. We're going to get down to 300 before we can deploy the parachute. There's a quick look out the back. There goes the chute. Okay, that will slow us down quickly. Under 200 before we can apply brakes, and the brakes are on, and we have just made it. Okay, so came in a little fast, needed at least 60k less on the final approach, but we got there. Excellent, more practice.